All right, well, with the home opener coming up a week from Friday, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome in one of the members of the Winnipeg Jets who'll be on the ice at Canada Life Center, Pierre-Luc Dubois, joining us on Winnipeg Sports Talk. Pierre-Luc, what's going on? Thanks for doing this.
No, thanks for having me.
What's been the atmosphere around camp? New coach, a number of new players, obviously many familiar faces. From your perspective, how's camp been, and what has the atmosphere been like around the squad as you get ready to start your 82-game journey in the regular season?
Yeah, it's been exciting. It's been a fun camp. Obviously, a lot of hard work and a lot of the learning and video and new systems. But I love exciting. I think whenever you have a new voice with new ideas and how this team can play and improve, everybody's excited about it and everybody's happy. And preseason is fun to get back into things. But with this last preseason game and then a few days regular season starts, the excitement level comes up.
Tell us about Coach Bones. What was your first impression for him, and how have you enjoyed working with him so far?
Yeah, I talked to a few times to him this summer, just quick calls about the season and all that. But to be able to start working with him officially here during camp, it's been great. Him and his whole coaching staff, whether it's video or communication on the ice, practices, even during games, it's been fun to work with them. They're very oriented around details and they have clear and precise ideas of how we want to play and what kind of team we want to be. And I think it's great, but, to have the details and visually see it sometimes, it helps a lot. So it's been great, and I'm sure, we still have a lot to learn and a lot to talk about, but so far so good.
He, from the outside looking in, he seems to have incredible energy and be a real positive person. Is that accurate? How would you characterize the personality of your new head coach?
Yeah, he shows up every day in a good mood, talks to everybody. I always ask how you're doing, and stuff like that. So that's great. But, he says the door's always open, and I think it truly is. And as a player, it means a lot when you could talk to a coach and just have a conversation with him. He's been great with the video too of, he knows we have a lot to learn and we have all of his systems and, there's going to be a lot of changes, but he's been great and staying patient with us, but also being very demanding. And I think it's going to lead well into the season.
Well, the structure and the changes, I think, are very interesting for fans, and even fans that, maybe haven't played the game or haven't coached, I think have seen, certainly in the games, an up-tempo pace. How different is this structure that Bones is putting in this year compared to what you and your team played last year? And what have been the keys maybe to making those changes, the things that you guys need to focus on the most?
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of changes, but I think we want to play a lot faster. You look at how the game is nowadays, and the best teams, they just play so fast. The puck's from behind their net on a breakout, and they're on the forecheck. The puck's behind your net in 3 seconds. So there's a lot of components to that. The puck moves faster than players, so sometimes you don't need to come as low and you don't need to, support as close. You can just skate and the puck will find you later on. We got to trust each other, trust the defensemen will make plays, trust the wingers. They'll be in the right spots and the centers too. So it's a lot of chemistry, building chemistry, getting used to the systems. It's a different mindset and way of playing the game. But I think once we all get it figured out, we can be a really dangerous and even annoying team to play against.
Well, it's funny you say annoying. You did your fair share of annoying players on the other team last year. I think you had, by far the most penalty minutes in your career. What got into you last season?
I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't happen again this year. But I like to be a guy that nobody wants to play against, and that's physical. That's in front of the net. That's defending teammates when the time comes. There's a lot of components to that, and hopefully the penalty minutes go down, but the intensity stays the same.
Well, to be honest, I say that complimentarily because, I think you were so involved in the game last year, which, at time that wasn't the case, night in and night out for some of the guys. And I think that's what really made you a fan favorite last year with the way that you played, and obviously not so much of a favorite of opponents. And I'm sure you're quite happy with that. Pierre-Luc, going into this season so far, we've seen you play with Cole Perfetti and Blake Wheeler. What have you seen from Perfetti, and how exciting is it to be a center playing along with a young man with that sort of skill set and toolbox?
It's been fun. I played with him a bit last year before he got injured. We had a fun time there playing together. He's a good player, but I think above all, he's a good person, and he's a fun guy to be around. And it's been fun to see him, grow into the player he is now, and I know he's gonna keep growing and becoming an even better player. But he's so smart. He can pass the puck. He can shoot the puck. He can make plays, and he's got confidence, and the confidence will just keep growing as the season goes on, I'm sure. He works hard. We communicate well, and he's a fast learner. So I think if you put all those things together, he can become a really, really good player in this league, and he's already a good player. But I know, and he knows that there's a lot more to come from him.
You know what I mean? With it being such a young player, over on the right side, you've got longtime captain Blake Wheeler, who's done so much, is really the face of the franchise. I have to ask you, Pierre-Luc, one of the first things that happened prior to camp was the change in the leadership group, which was significant for the organization. From your perspective, what was it like, being in the room or being around the team when you heard that? And how did you and some of the other players react to, a very big change from what had been the norm around here for a long time?
Yeah, I think it came as a surprise to all of us. I don't know. I don't think a lot of guys expected it, or if any expected it. But Wheels, since I've been here, it's going into my third season here. Wheels has been great to me. He's been helpful from the moment I got here to now, and I'm sure even without being the captain, he'll still be helpful, and he'll still be a leader on this team. But I think, for the guys that have only had one captain in their career, it came as a shock, and it's not easy, and it wasn't easy for the team or for Wheels. But I think, for this team now on, we've talked about the great teams, they don't just have one or two leaders, the whole team leads, and everybody has a different role and everybody has a different job. But at the end of the day, we need the teams made of into the 22 individuals, and every individual has to do their job and has to be a leader in their own way. So it's obviously going to be a bit different, but we hope and we think that it can be a positive thing for the team. And Wheels is going to be, he doesn't need a C to be a leader and to be a good guy on this team. And, I'm sure that this year we'll see, some guys maybe even jump into new leadership roles, but I think it could be a good thing for this team moving forward.
Certainly, last year with the way that you played night in and night out, certainly on this program, we heard from many fans feeling that you were exerting that sort of leadership. Do you personally look at this as an opportunity maybe to take a bigger and more impactful role amongst the leadership group of the Winnipeg Jets?
How I see it, to be honest, is it's not an opportunity. I just see it as I just got to do my job again. I just got to do my job and help the team win. And, like I said, I don't think you need to have a letter on your jersey to be a leader. I think it's just doing the right things, having the right mindset, doing it every day, showing up and doing your job and trying to influence others and helping others into doing theirs too. So, I don't see it as an opportunity or anything like that. I just think, we got to do our job again. Even if we had 0 letters on our team and nobody had an assistant, nobody had a captain. You have to be a leader anyway. So for me this year, the mindset like that doesn't change. It's still about winning and helping this team in any way I can.
Pierre-Luc Dubois of the Winnipeg Jets, our guest here on Winnipeg Sports Talk. Pierre-Luc, at the end of last season, not surprisingly, there was a lot of pissed off players after the year that that the team had. How would you characterize the attitude of this team going in? We've heard a number of players saying, somewhat of a chip on their shoulder, wanting to prove a lot of people wrong. Is that accurate? I mean, what do you feel about is the mentality of this team going into this upcoming season, considering what happened last campaign?
Yeah, well, obviously last year was a disappointing season in many ways. We knew what kind of team we had, and we also knew at the end of the season that we disappointed ourselves and disappointed a lot of people. But I think for us this year, they're long seasons. It's a long season, and I think for us, it's going to be about proving ourselves right, and not proving others wrong. We want to stay in that positive mindset of we know what kind of team we have in here, and nobody's more demanding towards us than us. The coaching staff, the players, everybody, this whole organization, we know what kind of team we have. And last year was not the year for us, and it was not. It did show what kind of team we had, and that's what we truly believe. So this year for us, it's going to be important that we keep building with new system, new coaches, new philosophy, but we have to start. You can't start the season on the back foot. So we're going to need a strong start, and then we'll go from there.
Pierre-Luc Dubois with us. Pierre, it's an off day for the club. Got to ask you, what's a perfect off day for you? What do you do when you're not at the rink or don't have to go in for practice?
Well, in the perfect world, I get to wake up a bit later than I usually do. Right now, I'm at the rink. I was going to come do a little treatment. I missed a few practices this week, so do a little treatment, warm up some new skates, or maybe get a little sauna in, relax. But perfect off day. Bring my dog for a walk. Really, for me, it's about charging the batteries and getting back to 100%. So that's what I'm going to try to be doing today.
When you're away from the rink, do you spend a lot of time thinking about, talking about, watching hockey, or are you one of those players that has a nice balance between the job and what you have to do when you're at work and what you do away from the rink?
I love hockey. Obviously, it's my job and it's my passion. I love talking about hockey. I mean, me and my dad, that's probably 90% of our conversations. But when I'm away from the rink, I like to keep my mind fresh because I feel like when I come back to the rink the next day, I'm excited because I haven't thought about it for 12 hours. Even 12 hours doesn't seem like much. So when I'm away, when I'm at home, I try to keep it light. I try to change my mind. I have other passions. I love soccer. That's probably my favorite sport after hockey. So always trying to learn about that and all that stuff. But I try to stay not away, but try to change my mind a bit sometimes.
It's soccer guy. Well, do you have a favorite squad, and how fired up for you for Canada to finally be back in the World Cup next month?
Oh yeah, I'm already preparing brackets for a team. I'm really excited for the World Cup. That's going to be a really fun month of watching a lot of soccer and recording a lot of games and probably wearing the same Canadian jersey 5 days a week to the rink. So I'm really excited, really looking forward to that. It's different also than what it usually is. It's always in the summer, so it'll be fun to have that in the middle of the season now.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy that it's happening in late November, but whenever and wherever, the fact that Canada's in, I think it's going to be amazing for the country, and it'll be very different at that time of year when it's usually about, the stretch, really getting into hockey season. But we'll have plenty of time here on the show to talk all of it. Hey, outside of hockey, do you have a favorite athlete or a player? We've had a lot of talk about Roger Federer, who just retired, and it's interesting as to how many athletes in other sports look to him for both his greatness and the way that he conducts himself. Is there a non-hockey player that you've always looked up to or have a special fondness for?
That's a good one. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, I also like soccer. I was a big Wayne Rooney fan. Now he's retired, so it's not him anymore. But I mean, Roger, coming back to him, I'm a decently big tennis fan. I'm not a huge tennis fan, but I like watching. I like watching the U.S. Open, French Open, and all that. But but I mean, Roger is just kind of at the top of class in sports, and I mean, everybody saw the reactions that every athlete and person in the world had when he retired. It's pretty crazy to think that you can get that much respect just from playing one sport. It's not just the tennis world that was sad about his retirement, the whole world. So that was a pretty impressive thing to see last month.
Back to hockey for a minute. Who's the toughest goalie that gives you the most problems when you're out there? And who's the guy that you maybe have the best rivalry with on the ice? When you know that he's out there, you're going to have a real tough night or great battles.
Well, I can't say Bucky because obviously I play with him now. But I just have to mention his name because if he hears this, he'll be happy. But I think Elvis in Columbus, I got to know him. I played with him for a bit. We're good friends. So I think when we play them, he knows I want to score. I want to score on him. And I know if he doesn't give me a goal, he'll be happy and he'll be texting me after the game about it. And he's one of the good goalies in this league. So I like our competition that we have going, me and him.
Pierre-Luc Dubois, the Winnipeg Jets, with us here on Winnipeg Sports Talk. Pierre, of course, you've had a great impact here in Winnipeg, and made a lot of fans here in very quick time. And I think part of what happened in the summer, with it being such a big story about what would be happening with your future, is a big part of just how important you were with the club. I know you've clarified things, and listen, in that dead zone when there wasn't a lot of other big sports news going on, sometimes those stories take on a life of their own. I know you've spoken with Sean Reynolds and some others. I mean, do you think about your contract situation a lot, or is that easy for you to put aside? And just for Winnipeg Jet fans, how would you characterize your situation going into this season and next?
Yeah, I mean, I think to start, everybody's different. Everybody has different motives, and everybody thinks differently. And I accept that when people write their stories or articles or anything, I just look at it through their lens. But for me personally, whether I have a 1-year contract or an 8-year contract, I'm just thinking about winning. I'm going into my 6th season. The furthest I've gone in the playoffs is the second round, and it's frustrating. It's I want to be on the team that's winning Stanley Cups, and that's all I'm thinking about this year. And like I said earlier, I know we have a good team, and I know what we can do here, and we all do. So this year, it's all about that and nothing else.
Yeah, and I mean, then going forward, I mean, just to clarify, I mean, everything's on the table, including potentially staying here in Winnipeg. I mean, I think probably the best thing for Winnipeg would be have a great season, to be on a great team, have a lot of success, and see from there. But you haven't ruled anything out going forward, correct?
Yeah, no, exactly. It was just about this summer. It was just about getting the 1-year contract and anything's on the table. But this summer just wasn't ready to necessarily decide the next 8 or 6 or 7 or 8 years of my life. But everything's on the table. I've enjoyed my time here in Winnipeg and playing with these teammates and getting to know the city and getting to know the fans. It's been great, and everybody's been extremely nice to me. So everything's still on the table.
All right, before we go, you and the fellas are heading out to Calgary to finish up the preseason and then hanging out in Banff. Do you know what you guys are going to be up to? I mean, what's on the agenda for the Winnipeg Jets as you kind of wait a little bit more time than other teams to start your season next Friday?
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been to Banff twice, but only in the winter, so it'll be exciting to see what it looks like in the summer. I think we got some golf, we got some fishing. It'll be a fun trip. Get to know the guys even more and have everybody together. Obviously when we're at home after the rink, everybody goes home and go see their families. But when we're in Banff, it's just going to be us. So that'll be a fun trip and a good way to start the season.
Well, and, speaking of good ways to start the season, I mean, you in particular got a great welcome at Winnipeg Jets Fan Fest at the Iceplex last week. And I can imagine you and everyone looking forward to getting back in front of the faithful next Friday against the New York Rangers. What's the wait going to be like to finally get this season started again after a longer than preferred offseason?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be really exciting. Like you said, the off season was a bit too long for our liking. So to be able to get back in front of our fans, start the season off at home, it's gonna be great. I mean, there's no better way to start the season. The only better way to start it is with a win. So hopefully we can get that done for our fans.
Well, we're looking forward to it. October 14th, Friday night, Canada Life Center. It's the Jets and the New York Rangers for the home opener. Pierre-Luc, thank you so much for the time. Enjoy the time out west, and all the best for you and your club to have a great season coming up.
Thank you very much.